So, my dear students, today I welcome you all for the. Uh, Let us start the new chapter, Unit 12, Organic Chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. My dear students, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Very good, very good, very good. So, let us study about. See, this organic chemistry is the chemistry of carbon. Please remember that this organic chemistry is nothing but the chemistry of carbon. So, first, let us understand from where this word organic chemistry came into existence. So, first, if you look into the word organic and chemistry, this organic word came from the living organisms. The living organisms. So this word organics come from the living organism. It was believed, it was believed that organic compounds, organic compounds are the compounds that are found into living organisms. So it was believed that organic compounds are the compounds which are found into the only living organisms. This idea was because of one theory which was given by a very well-known scientist. His name was Berzelius. Berzelius. Berzelius was the scientist. He proposed one theory, and this theory was known as the vital force theory. According to this vital force theory, my dear students, according to this vital force theory, it was believed that organic compounds cannot be prepared in the laboratory. Some vital force, some vital force is needed to form or to synthesize or to prepare organic compounds. So in the ancient time, my dear students, it was believed that organic compounds cannot be prepared into the laboratory. A human being cannot prepare any organic compound. This was believed because a scientist, his name was the Berzelius, he proposed a theory. I don't know whether we call him as a scientist or not, but we will call him Berzelius. He proposed a theory which is known as the vital force theory, and according to the vital force theory, organic compounds cannot be prepared into the laboratories. Some vital force is being needed to prepare the organic compounds, and that is why it was believed that organic compounds are the compounds that comes from the living organism only. But later on, there was a scientist, his name was F. Wohler, the scientist who was the first one to break, to prove this theory wrong. His name was the F. Wohler. Let me write in the year of 1828, the scientist whose name was F. Wohler, or we can say Friedrich Wohler, synthesized urea from ammonium cyanide. So Friedrich Holler was the first scientist who prepared an organic compound into the laboratory. There was a compound whose name was ammonium cyanate, NH4CNO. This scientist Friedrich Holler heated this compound and he got a compound whose name was urea, NH2CONH2. The name of this compound is ammonium cyanate, and this is what he has prepared, urea. So Friedrich Holler was the first scientist to prepare any organic compound into the laboratory, and thus the vital force theory has been proved wrong, and it came to the notice that a human being can prepare the organic compound into the laboratories. Now, my dear students, after preparing this urea into the laboratory, there were few other scientists also who have prepared some other compounds. For example, there was a scientist whose name was Kolbe, and this Kolbe has synthesized acetic acid into the laboratory. Acetic acid. So acetic acid was synthesized by Kolbe. Then there was a scientist whose name was Berthelot. Let me write it for you. Berthelot was the scientist who prepared this methane into the laboratory. So, my dear students, the various other scientists apart from the Friedrich Holler, they have also synthesized some of the organic compounds into the laboratory, and then the idea of this vital force theory has been proved completely wrong. Then now the question arises that what is an organic compound? What is an organic compound? So now we can answer this question. Please listen to the answer, my dear students, very well, that a compound of carbon, a compound of carbon other than oxide, whether it is monoxide or dioxide, carbonates, bicarbonates, carbides, carbon disulfide, and allotropes of carbon. Once again, a compound of carbon other than oxides, carbonates, bicarbonates, carbides, carbon disulfide, and allotropes of carbon other than all these compounds. Other than all these compounds, a compound of carbon other than oxides, carbonates, bicarbonates, and allotropes of carbon are called organic compound. Please remember, my dear students, that all the other compound of carbon other than the oxides of carbon, carbonates of carbon, bicarbonates of carbon, carbides of carbon, carbon disulfide, and allotropes of carbon, all the other compounds are considered to be the organic compound. So please remember, this is the definition of the organic compound, which was first, and thus, chemistry has got a new branch of chemistry, the number of compound of carbon, the number of compounds of carbon is so huge that to study the compounds of carbon, a new branch of chemistry is developed. Do you know, my dear students, what is the new branch of chemistry? What is the name of this new branch of chemistry? Any one of you, please? Dear students, any one of you can tell me what is the new branch of chemistry under which we study the organic compounds or the compounds of carbon? Hello. So, my dear students, the new branch of chemistry under which we study the compounds of carbon, new branch of chemistry under which we study all organic compounds is called. Now, can you tell me what is the name of this? Any one of you? Is called organic chemistry. Please remember that we have the new branch, and this branch we call it as organic chemistry. Please remember, my dear student, that under this organic chemistry, we are going to study about the compounds of carbon only. So please remember that under the chemistry, we are going to study about the compound of carbon. Now let us understand, or let us revise something very interesting about the carbon. So dear students, when we look at carbon, we can represent carbon as C612. That means this 6 is the atomic number of carbon and 12 is the atomic mass number of carbon. Thus, carbon has 6 protons, 6 electrons and 6 neutrons. The electronic configuration of carbon, we can easily write that it is helium 2s2 2p2. That is what we can write it for carbon. Now, what do we understand here, which is very important, is that carbon is tetravalent. So carbon is tetravalent. That means carbon can make 4 bonds at a time. 4 bonds at a time. But my dear students, it is interesting to note about carbon that if we represent carbon in this form, helium 2s2 2p2, and if we represent its orbital with the box manner, we would realize that 2 carbons are there in the 2s and 2p has got again 2 carbons. In the excited state, my dear students, this carbon again, the electronic configuration of this carbon is changed. 1 electron from 2s goes to 2p, and thus carbon has And thus, my dear students, this carbon has got 4 vacant or half-filled orbitals. You can see this. Now, in this condition, when we have this kind of situation, dear students, what we simply understand about carbon is that carbon can have a different kind of structures. So we represent the 3 different kind of structures, my dear students, for carbon. Let us look into the 3 various possibilities for carbon. So my dear students, these 3 various possibilities that we can see for carbon is when all these 4 orbitals undergoes the hybridization, and we will have sp3 hybridization. When only one s and 2 p orbital undergoes the hybridization, we will have sp2 hybridization. And when one s and one p orbital undergoes hybridization, we can have sp hybridization. So please remember, my dear students, that in oxidized state, the various orbitals of carbon can undergo 3 various hybridization. One is sp3, another is sp2, and the third one is sp. So now these, due to the hybridization, orbitals of equal size, equal shape, equal energy,